What's up, Summoners? King Blair here. For today's Top 5 Tuesday, we're going to be talking about the top 5 wombo combo duos in Epic 7. So basically, these are units that just go extremely well together, and when they're paired up in the same team, it's just some crazy stuff starts happening. So if you like the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and Discord server, link down in the description. And if I missed like a wombo combo that you like to use, for example, like maybe you really like Mui and some attacker, please let me know down in the comments so I can see what cool combos you guys have. But alright, to go a little bit more in detail, I'm going to be using a lot of the honorable mentions kind of as an example of the things that we're going to be talking about. So as I mentioned, these are going to be unit combinations that tend to work really well, and for some of them they are quite relevant in today's day and age, although some of them are more of the spicy pick. Now as far as some things to think about, again, there's a lot of combinations, so this list is not like, oh, decisive, this is definitely a better combo than the other one, just because there are so many combos in this game. But for examples, for the honorable mention, we're going to start with a Tywin and Angel of Light Angelica. A Tywin has some nasty S3, she gets too slow, he gets to decrease speed, he gets to stun, and on the other hand, with Angel of Light Angelica, you are able to strip, you are able to apply Unable to be buffed, and you are also going to be controlling the pace of the game with silences, and these two together make a control just destruction nation. I keep forgetting that she's actually a 4-star, but it's just so much control that the opponent is not able to keep up, because she sets up into a Tywin very nicely with the silence, with the cannot be buffed, and then gets to keep pushing the pace of the game by pushing them back if they are going to be silenced and silencing any threats that could cleanse. On the other hand, a Tywin is stunning and slowing, allowing you to just take so many turns that the opponent is going to just lose tempo. The only reason this combo is not better, even though she is a mage and also gives a Tywin the soul burn, is going to be the fact that it is a purely control combo. This combo doesn't really do any damage, but the amount of control that you're actually able to do is pretty nuts. Although they're able to properly cleanse, or they have units that kind of can just ignore debuffs, this combo falls apart into pieces, which is why it's an honorable mention. But it's a really cool combo, and I've had people actually use it against me, and it is very frustrating just because of how much control you actually get. So if you can sneak this team past your opponent, it is actually quite toxic to actually get around. Another one is a really old combo that I'm not going to go into much into detail for, but it's going to be just Falconer Kluri and pretty much any one-shotter like Top Model Luluka, Speed Rylet. Essentially, you just force a 1v4 situation, or 1v3 or 3v4 situation, right? With Falconer Kluri opening, neutralizing, applying decreased defense, and provoke, you're able to come in with something like a Speed Rylet with the Tomoka and just one-shot a unit right away. The only problem right now, Falconer Kluri is not as good as she used to be, although she's still really incredible, right? She's a really good unit for PvE, and you can definitely still use her for PvP in certain situations, but some other units have taken it into consideration. Some of the combos would be like Carrot Bazaar, who was able to push back and apply burns, you know, really good combo. Made Chloe with literally any attacker, which is why I really didn't put her on this list, because she just pairs it well with everyone. And same thing with Stena, because if we talked about Stena would probably take all the top 5 combos in this list, and that would not make for a really fun video. So I know it's a very long honorable mention, but let's actually get to the real ones, starting with one that honestly is my personal pick, but I really like this combo, and it's going to be none other than Ross and a Ravi. Now, why Ross and a Ravi? Well, Ross with his S2 is able to pull in an ally and dual attack with them, right? Particularly the highest attack ally. So assuming your a Ravi is the highest attack unit, if you're playing in a very Brewster draft, this strategy can actually work very well. Why, you may ask? Well, because it covers one of a Ravi's biggest weaknesses, and that is going to be debuffs. A Ravi does lose really hard to getting debuff down and not being able to do her job. So if you have someone like Ross able to give her that immunity, you're going to be able to come in with Ross and do a bunch of damage. The other thing is that with a Ravi, you're also slowly going to be whittling down their HP, and you're able to protect Ross, who may have an Aureus, with an S3 to revive him back if he does end up dying from taking so much damage for a Ravi. So the S2, Ross does pair really good even with things like Landy, but the Arabi one is my personal spice combo because I think it just makes your team so tanky and so annoying, and you're able to consistently just swing a massive axe against your opponent and just get to heal your Arabi and just do a bunch of work. Again, Ross does work with a lot of different units, so Ross and Landy, also really good combo. Ross Stennett, also really combo. So I really thought I should point it out because he does do a really good job at what he does, and with a Ravi, I really do like that combo. Now, at number 4 is where we actually start getting some more of the wombo combo team-oriented duos with none other than Cerise and Summer Iseria, both which are Rangers. This is actually a team that you're starting to see a little bit in Guild Wars defense, and I think has a lot of potential even for arena and arena defenses, because it does some things really, really well. So the way it works is Cerise is able to apply a slow as well as restrict AoE, and that usually tends to work really, really well because you're able to control the pace of the game when you do the S3. The other thing is that you also get to set up immediately right after with a Summer Iseria, because her S2 allows you to get a nice CR push gain, as well as, since you got to strip their immunity, because there was a reduction in cooldown, you're able to apply the 2 bombs, and Summer Iseria is able to come in and stun 2 enemies. That combo is so nice, and then you just get to control the pace of the game with Cerise, because all of them are slowed. You're going to be attacking with Cerise so often, you're going to be pulling different units. So while it's not directly a perfect combo between the two, because the S1 can't apply the bombs off of dual attacks, or Cerise and Iseria would probably be the best combo in the game, they do not pair that well after that initial combo. But just that initial pressure that you're able to put at the start of the game is so nice. If you're actually getting to play it yourself, you're able to soul burn the skill and actually get a couple more bombs before you actually just stun the whole team. And if the whole team is stunned and takes a bunch of damage, they're just going to be getting lapped by Summer Iseria, because she's going to be getting that speed buff. She's going to be taking way more turns, applying those bombs, being annoying, and controlling the pace of the game with Cerise and Iseria. And they both also are different elements, so they will be hitting different units, meaning that when Cerise does her S2, she'll be stunning a fire unit, and when Summer Iseria goes for an S1, she's going to be hitting a grass unit, right? If it's AI, if it's a regular combo, it gets a little bit better because you're able to actually control the pace of the game. So it's a really, really cool combo, and what's really cool about it is that it actually works for defense. Unlike Operator Sigrid and Summer Iseria, this will actually work really well in defense because they both work so well together. Again, they are susceptible to getting Champ Seed, but aside from that, if they have high enough effectiveness, you're going to be getting this combo pretty nicely, right? And the higher base speed on Cerise definitely does help make sure that your combo is a little bit tighter with Summer Iseria's push-up, right? So that part, really, really nice. As well as Cerise also will trigger for you any A Tywin, making it so the bombs on Summer Iseria will actually stick, which again is really, really nice. So now with that, we are moving to the number 3, and we have none other than Pavel and Polides. Now I could have gone with Pavel and any mage holder in this game, but Pavel and Polides is particularly dangerous for a lot of reasons. So first, the big thing with Pavel is going to be the fact that he's going to give attack buff. While not be giving to Polides, what ends up happening is they cover each other's weaknesses. So it's one of those combos that's not necessarily a wombo combo type situation. It's just that they cover all of each other's bases, creating a very tight, hard to stop cleave. Why? Well, because Pavel gets the souls from Polides, since Polides can hold book, you're able to do the S2, S3 combo. The other thing is that if they have a Light Angelica, like an arena where there's a lot of Light Angelicas, well, when Light Angelica does her skill, Polides will come in and clear the skill nullifier, allowing Pavel to actually get a kill off of the S3, and then Polides will be able to come right after. The other thing is that it also stops very tanky Sage Balls from cutting in the combo, right? If you're not able to kill Sage Ball, well, you don't have to worry too much because you are cutting with the Polides, right? And then the other thing is that Pavel, since he's grass, he can cover Polides' bad matchups, such as Rem, right? So both these units put together just give each other so much support and are able to cover each other's weaknesses so well that it makes them a very, very good combination, because you're able to essentially just block the opponent from doing a lot of things, right? Because you're able to essentially set up attack before your team with the support. You're able to debuff the enemy with Polides. You're able to take out priority water units with Pavel, and you're able to stop units that could cut after your Pavel Soulburn combo with Polides. So these two units were almost made for each other in what they're able to do, and it's one of the reasons why this cleave is one of the strongest cleaves out there. Without Polides, Pavel does have a lot more counters that he normally wouldn't, such as Angel Light Angelica being able to actually stop the Pavel combo in its tracks. But again, with Polides on the board, that becomes a little bit harder. So again, they just cover each other's weaknesses so well. It's honestly kind of crazy. But with that, we are moving now to the top 2 combos. And for this one, we have a really annoying one that is actually one of the most, that I'm really happy a lot of people don't actually use this combo, but it's going to be none other than Crimson Armin and Rem. So Crimson Armin, very, very good combo type unit. Combos really well with things like Seaside. And Seaside Crimson Armin actually used to be a very popular strategy for arena offenses back in the day because of Seaside's low base ace speed. The same thing is going to be happening with Rem as it was with Seaside, where Crimson Armin essentially sets up a wall for your Rem to just pop off with S2s. By making a slightly faster Crimson Armin, like around 230 speed, if you're going for a speedier one, you can actually set up for the rest of your slower team before your opponent is able to retaliate. And if they have something like a Landy, and they're doing their skills, and they're attacking, your Rem is going to be protected from that, a lot of that initial burst, since they want to get damage on the rest of the units, as well as just giving that Knight artifact, meaning that they can't use the best strategy for taking out Rem, which is going to be one-shotting her, right? If they're not able to take care of Rem in time, and they're forced to hit other units, the Rem is slowly just gonna melt them away with her S2. The other thing is that Crimson Armin provides immunity, so while you wait for you to reach demon mode, you're actually able to still not get stunned, not get decreased broken, allowing you to not just get blown out of the water when you're playing Rem. And that's honestly one of Rem's biggest weaknesses, is that she can either get control before demon mode, or she doesn't get to see demon mode because she's just blown the first turn, right? And that's a very common way that people will deal with Rem. But if you have a Crimson Armin with Aureus Adamant Shield, they are not going to be touching your Rem, right? And you're going to keep that immunity the next turn, even when you S3, allowing you to keep immunity for longer, allowing you to get closer to getting your demon mode, also making it so they are forced to waste so many turns trying to deal with Rem, and she still could potentially counter on them, decrease their defense, and then just blow them up, right? So very, very nasty combination. Being able to protect Rem in the Crimson Armin S3, as well as just all the mitigation that she does, really sets her up for success, and it just makes it a really nice combination. But now, last but definitely not least, this is the Wombo combo unit. She basically pairs good with almost any attacker, so she is honestly, to me, the best one for this list. And it's going to be Emilia with pretty much anything, but we're going to be particularly talking about Emilia and Landy / Strassi, right? So why Emilia and Landy in the first place? Well, as you guys know, Emilia is able to give dummy CR push with SS2, as well as an attack buff, and she's able to cleanse 2 debuffs, right? That is really, really good, but that's good for any unit. Why Landy in particular? Why is it so good for Landy? Well, because as you see, she also gets CR push on her own, and it's a very low cooldown skill. When we look at Landy, on the other hand, you have a unit that is going to be doing a ton of damage with that attack buff because it's an AoE, but you also are getting speed buff on your already pretty fast unit that is already cycling with her low cooldown S2. And if she has Magraham Stone and she does S3, then she's cycling all the time. You're giving that unit speed buff as well as giving them an extra 15% CR push. So for example, if you start with Emilia, you do Emilia S2 on your Landy, you get to cut your opponents, you get to S3, that Emilia got 25% CR push. With Landy's 15%, she's going to be getting 40%, so she's almost taking another turn. And if she has book, you get an extra 30. You're basically already almost taking another turn, and you're doing a bunch of damage, and you're giving the speed buff, so you're able to cycle more with Emilia. It just becomes something that it's way too much for the opponent to outpace, and if they're trying to bruiser you, they're not going to be having a good time, because you're able to push up Landy, AoE, do damage, speed buff, cycle, right? And the only real way to stop this combo is with something like a Polides or a Celine, right? Which is why they're starting to see a lot more popularity. But again, it's just one of the most disgusting combos because of how much cycling you're able to do. If you have these 2 units on the same team, it just feels like you're taking a million turns, right? Because by the time that Emilia cycles through her S2, S1, and then has to S1, your Landy probably has another S3 to give her the nice little speed buff so she can take that extra turn, right? So it just becomes absolutely disgusting for the opponent to try to break through this really, really good combination of Emilia Landy. Now, on the other hand, with Emilia Strassi, it just essentially means one of your units is dying and you have to accept it because you're going to get blown up since you get attack buff. Not as much to talk about there, but it is a really good combo. But on the other hand, Emilia Landy to me is the best combo and duo units that you can have in this game because they complement each other perfectly. You have a Soul Weaver support that's giving attack buff, cleansing, giving barriers that are, oh yeah, even the barrier, if you do S3 and you have Guiding Light on Landy, you're able to keep your Landy on Guiding Light even if they do an AoE skill, because you'll have Guiding Light as well as the barrier that Emilia gave. It's honestly perfect. Just everything about their kits just makes sense together, which is why to me they're going to be the best combo in this game. So that is going to be it for these units, for these combos, because they really do really well together. The big ones, a lot of these do see quite a lot of play, with the exception of Ross A. Robbie. That one I kind of just threw in there because I really like both of them. But that is going to be all I have for you guys today. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Peace.